Hello everyone, welcome back to our Python programming course. In the previous lecture, we learned how to take input from the user and display output using the print function. We also learned how to convert user input into integer and floating point numbers. Today we are going to learn about operators in Python. Operators are one of the most important concepts in programming because almost every program performs some kind of calculation or comparison. Whether you are building a calculator, a banking application, game, shopping website, or AI program, you will use operators. So let's begin. What is an operator? An operator is a symbol that performs an operation on one or more values. Let's understand with an simple example. For example, if we write any variable and assign it some value, for example a equals to 10 and 5b equals to 5, and we are going to write print a plus b, it will give us 105 because 10 and 5 will become 15, because here a plus sign is operator. It allows Python to add the two operands which we used here. For example, if we write 10 here, a equals to 10, b equals to 5, and we are going to print it using a plus b. Here plus is an operator. If we are going to run it, it will give us 15 as an output. So plus sign here, addition sign here, tells the Python to add the two values. Similarly, we can write here subtraction, multiplication, and division, which are also called operators. You can do any type of mathematical calculations. Now Python provides several types of operators. For example, the most common are arithmetic operators, assignment operators, comparison, logical, membership operators, and identity operators. Let's understand each one. Number one is arithmetic operators. Arithmetic operators are used to perform mathematical calculations, which we already saw: the addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, but also modulus, exponent, floor division. We have already seen how to do addition, multiplication, subtraction, and division. Now we are gonna use a modulus operator, which I'll write here when the variable are 10 and 5. And if I write here modulus operator is percentage, it will give us the remainder. So a is divisible by b, so the remainder will be 0. If I write here 11, it will give us the 1 as a remainder, or modulus of 11. 11 is 1. 11 modulus 5 is 1. Similarly, now we are going to use the exponent function. So what an exponent function does is, it just makes it in a power. For example, if I use a exponent of b, it will just perform as 11 raised to power 5. We will do the simple calculation to understand, and right here 5, comment it down. Now 5 raised to power 2 is 25. Now answer is also 25 because we have used exponent power, so it will give us the power of a power of b, a raised to power b. Now we are gonna use the floor division. So what the floor division does is, it just basically removes the decimal part from the answer. For example, if we are gonna use the floor division, we just write like this. If we do this, just divides a by b, and if we write one more, it does the floor division. For example, if we divide 5 by 2, it will give us 2 but 2.5, but it will give here as 2 because we have used the floor division, so it just basically removes the decimal part from the answer. If we do just like this, it will give us 2.5, and when we use the floor division, it will give us the 2 as an output. It's not running. Let's use terminal. Now we run it. The answer is 2. So our floor division is also understood. Now we will use the assignment operator. Now likewise, when we assign some value to, for example, is a equals to 5, here only 1 equals to is called an assignment operator, which assigns the value to a, our variable. The value is 5 here. Now if we can also perform some mathematical task also here. For example, if I wanna add something to a, I can do like a is a plus equals to 5. What it does is just is a equals to a plus 5. It does the same work. If we are going to print it a, I'll comment it down. If I do this, it equals to 10. Why? Because I assigned the value of a equals to 5, and when I do this, it does the same. A equals to a plus 5, a equals to a plus 5, and then it adds another 5, and the value of a gets printed here. Now similarly, if I want to make some changes, for example, if I want to subtract 5 from a, I'll do the same like this. A minus 5 equals to 5. It will give us a 0 as an answer because it only had 5 and we subtracted 5 from a, which gave us 0. Also I can do multiply and division in any mathematical operation. Now we are going to use the comparison operators. Comparison operators always compare two values. The result will be always either true or false. Let's understand them. Now if I write print 10 equals to 10, which is true, the Python will also give us the true as an answer. Why? Because this is a comparison operator. It will check whether the value of this and this is equal or not. In our case, 10 is equals to 10, so Python gave us true. If I do this, 10 equals to 11, which is not true, it will give us false in an answer. Also, if we want to check whether, let me give some spacing here, whether 10 is not equals to 11, which it will give us true. Because why? 10 is not equals to 11, which is true, so Python gave us true as an answer. Using exclamation marks equals to, this is called not operator. We can also use greater than or less than operator here also. Using this, 10 is greater than 11, which is false, it will give us false. If I write here less than, it will give us true because 10 is less than 11. If I write here less than equal to, it will check whether it is 10 is less than 11 or is equal to 11, which is also true. I can use greater than equals to also, which is false. So these are known as comparison operators. Now we are going to use logical operators. Logical operators combine multiple conditions. Python has three logical operators. Number one, and, or, and not. And operator returns true only if both conditions are true. For example, if I write here age equals to 20 and print age is greater than 18 and age is equal to 18, which will return as true. Just gave us a true as answer. Also, now if we check OR operator, it will check whether age is greater than 18 or age is less than 18 or age is greater than 18. It will check only one value. If it's true, it will return us the true as an answer. Here our one value is true, so it gave us the true as an answer. And when we check not operator, OR operator, now we have done two. Now we are going to use the not operator. Not operator is written like this. If we do it will basically flip the answer. If it's true, it will return as false. If it is false, then it will return as true. In our case, not age greater than 18 will return as false. Or for simplifying, if I do this, it has returned as true. So it just basically flips our answer. If it's true, it's false, then false, then it returns as true. Now we are going to use membership operators. Membership operators check whether something exists inside a sequence. The two operators are in and not in. If we, for example, there is a string, I'll make it string now I'm gonna print p to check whether p is there in name. Python will check for us. If it's there, it will return true, or if not, then false. P is not there in name, it returns as false. If we check whether R is there in it, it will return as true. R is there in Rahul, so it returned as true. And also, if we use not in, it just give us the flipped value, which is false. R is not in name, which is false. R is there in name Rahul. Now identity operators. Identity operators check whether two variables refer to the same object. The operator are is and is not. If I use a equals to 10, b equals to also 10, now I print a is b, it will return as true. Why? Because a is 10 is 10, so it returned as true. If the values are same, then it will return as true. If I change it, for example 11, it gave us false. Why? Because 11 is not 10. Also we will see is not just basically give us the flipped value, which will return as true now. Why? Because 11 is not 10, so it gave us true. Now operator precedence, it is just a sequence of operators, how the operators gets calculated, when which operator will come to solve the expression. For example, if I do print 5 plus 2 into 3, now how will you calculate when will get added and when it will get multiplied? What will be your output? Do you think it will get 16 as an answer? Because not 16, 21 as an answer. Why are you thinking that? Because 5 plus 2 is 7, 7 to 3, 21. No, it will calculate it as Bodmer's rule, just as you same you use, which is 2 into 3, this 2 into 3, then I gets added by 5. It is 6 plus 5, 11. Now we'll run it, it will give us 11 as an answer, not the 21. So it just calculates just same as you do in as a mathematical precedence. Multiplication is performed first, then addition. If for safety calculation purpose, you should use, I suggest you to use parenthesis for safer side to calculate multiplication first. If you use complex mathematical operation, do complex mathematical operations. So I have a program for you to write for the calculator we did earlier. Just let me write. Now I have written an code for a calculator, which will take num1 as a float and num2 as float and do the addition, subtraction, multiplication, division and remainder, which is modulus function here. If we run it, we'll add first number, which is 5, another number is 10. It gave us addition, subtraction, multiplication, division and remainder. Using the same, you can also make your first calculator using Python. And before wrapping up, we will discuss some common beginner mistakes people do, which is using comparison operator with the assignment operator. This is assignment operator and this is comparison operator. It just compares, and single equals to is used to assign the value. And mistake number 2 will be it is very simple, but for example, if I do 10 divided by 2, 0, it should give us infinity, right? But no, in Python program, if we divide 10 by 0, it will give us runtime error, as you can see here, traceback value, a 0 division error, float division by 0, which is not possible in Python. So we are gonna wrap up this session. So we will see quickly and revise today's lecture. Today we will we learned what are operators, arithmetic operators, assignment, comparison, logical, membership, identity operator, precedence, building a simple calculator, as I have already told you. Common mistakes while using operators. Operators allow us to perform calculations, compare values and build logical conditions. They form the foundation for writing meaningful programs. In next lecture, we'll learn about conditional statement, if else, elif. Using the operators we learned today, we'll make our programs capable of making decisions just like humans. Thank you for watching. Practice all the operators examples on your own. I'll see you in the next lecture. Peace out.